I'm going to tell you this story. If you've seen it already, then it's spoiled. But I'm going to tell you kind of this story in a backwards way because of how funny the conclusion will then be. Kevin McCarthy is now apologizing and trying to make up for the fact that he said something about Donald Trump. Okay, I'll show you at the end what he said about Trump because you're going to think it's way worse based on the reaction of Kevin McCarthy right now and of kind of his political apparatus, how they're reacting right now. So here's a New York Times article reporting on this. And this is just a great profile in weakness and in a lack of courage on the part of Kevin McCarthy. McCarthy questions strength of Trump's candidacy, then quickly backtracks. So imagine for this amount of hubbub that we're about to talk about, the debacle we're going to walk through, he must have said something really, really bad about the strength of Trump. And I'll show you this reporting about the backtracking that's going on the part of Kevin McCarthy and his camp.
Yeah, a day of cleanup yesterday for House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. He held a called the former president yesterday to apologize, according to new reporting from our colleagues Melanie Zanona and Kristen Holmes, where he both apologized, he told the former president that he misspoke, and of course, he blamed reporters for taking the comments out of context, according to McCarthy. But that wasn't where it ended, Sarah. He also had an exclusive interview with Breitbart News, a right-leaning news agency, to try to talk more about why he believed Donald Trump was the strongest candidate to beat Joe Biden. Later, his campaign sent out a fundraising email saying that Donald Trump was stronger than ever. This just goes to show you that Kevin McCarthy knows that his right flank is so important for him to hold on to his speakership. He cannot anger people in his conference who are getting behind the former president, who are fervently behind him at all times, no matter what that means.
Okay, so you get it. Kevin McCarthy called Donald Trump, apologizing. They took me out of context. I don't feel that way. You're so strong. You're so incredible. I love you. Because of, as the CNN correspondent is noting, of how necessary it is for him to keep that part, the hardcore MAGA pro-Trump part of his party, happy for him to keep his speakership. And with that being said, here's what he said. Get ready. It's pretty harsh against Trump.
But there's plenty of networks that are covering Trump and Biden and all the things that are happening. And they're covering it. Some aren't covering all of it, but we're going to cover it right now. So Trump's been indicted. His poll numbers are going up, so primary voters like him. If he wins the primary, do you think he can win the general? And is it good for the Republican Party if Donald Trump is the nominee? Look, and then I want to get to Biden and his malarkey defense and all that stuff.
Can Trump beat Biden? Yes, he can beat Biden.
Is that a good thing for the Republican Party if Donald Trump is the
Republicans get to select their nominee? I think if you want to go sheer policy to policy, it's not good for Republicans, it's good for America. Trump's policies are better, straightforward than Biden's.
It makes
policy.
it complicated if he's got all these trials and all this stuff overhanging.
It makes it complicated. It also helps him when.
But do you think he could win an election? Could he win an election?
Can he win that election? Yeah, he can.
You think he can?
The question is he the strongest to win the election? I don't know that answer. But can anybody beat Biden? Yeah, anybody can beat Biden.
That's it. And now he's calling Trump. He's sending out emails talking about how strong Trump is, fundraising emails. He's panicking because he said, is he the strongest? I don't know, but he could beat Biden. He's the best. I love him. 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 And also maybe he's not the strongest candidate ever. And that he's having to make up for. It's a cult. That's crazy talk. No one would even care because this conversation happens constantly on the left. If you're kind of like, Biden seems to be the guy who's going to be the nominee and a million times better than Trump, and here's some policies I like, but is he the strongest? I don't know. Probably not. And here, unacceptable. Unacceptable. It's really, really embarrassing. And this reminds me of, you might remember, after January 6th, Kevin McCarthy correctly, shockingly, said that Trump is to blame. And he got caught, I guess you could say, on a phone call making that very clear. And then he traveled down this iconic photo to Mar-a-Lago to lick the boots of Donald Trump, lick the golf shoes of Donald Trump, and show his support, because he was on a journey to become speaker, and he knew that the way he would become speaker is to kiss up to Trump. And the Republican Party won't stop being this way until the other part of the party does the same thing, until it stops becoming the MAGA people abuse and demand everything of the more moderate Republicans, and the moderates don't do the same to the MAGA. Moderates need to take a stand as well and actually stand up against this MAGA ideology, because right now MAGA says we're not going to support anyone unless they're absolutely loyal to our ideology and us, and they constantly kiss up to our leader. And so then Republicans allow that to be the defining aspect of their party. Come on, snap out of it, because this is just, and I guess I'm okay with it as someone who doesn't vote for Republicans, but really, really embarrassing. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are able to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, plus get the bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.